a carpenter. So I said, all right, a waitress. Very common job, a very dismissible person. I wanted the most dismissible person you could imagine. You know, could have been a secretary, could have been a waitress, somebody like that. It's like, couldn't possibly be an important, earth-shaking existence. And I thought, that's good, because that's how most people feel. Most people going to a movie theater are not presidents or heads of major corporations or big important people. They're average people, and they could, I thought, invest in the idea of an average person who is suddenly snatched out of their daily existence and finds out that their life has great meaning in another framework, in another frame of reference, which the film supplies. And all of a sudden, not only is she fighting for her life, but she's fighting for the future of the entire world. She becomes the most important person in the world for a moment in history. So now I'm telling a story from a female perspective. So now I have to draw upon, you know, all the women that I've ever known in my life and or read about, in anything from comic books to novels to the news. Now, it just so happens that just before I wrote that, I was married to a Bob's Big Boy waitress. So I went, Bob's Big Boy waitress, perfect, write what you know. So I basically wrote my first wife, you know, which was, you know, plucky, a lot of humor, kind of cynical, but likable. And so, boom, there's your character, right? Now, put that character in an extraordinary circumstance. And I think what I would advise is that people be kind of authentic to their own life experience, but not to the extent that you're literally just telling your own life story. I happen to enjoy writing female characters. That's controversial now. There are people that say, oh, well, you know, female characters and films about female characters should be directed by women and they should be written by women. It's like, okay, so I can only write paunchy middle-aged Canadian white guys? You know, I don't think that's how art works. You know, the whole point of acting, the whole point of storytelling, I think, is to live outside yourself. But you have to do it with some connection to your own personal experience. You have to make it personal. But that shouldn't prevent you from writing a character that is not like you. How am I going to introduce my main characters? And how am I going to do that in a way that is the quintessence of that character? What is the quintessence of that character, and how can I encapsulate that, you know, in a kind of almost a synecdoche?